So one thing that I've thought back on a lot, this is actually kind of important to me. So like I said, the work was hard in Finland, and I feel like sometimes to compensate for like the lack of baptisms, leadership turns into like this really, really important thing. And leadership was a pretty big deal when I was there. You know, it was like, oh, such and such is a leader, or this person's a district leader or a zone leader. And I remember, you know, thinking about that too going there. My dad was an AP, 1,000 years ago when he served his mission. And I just assumed that good missionaries did things like that. Now, I'll preface this by saying I was a good missionary. I followed the rules. I worked hard. I really did everything that I was supposed to do. I also was never in leadership. I wasn't even a district leader, and I never trained. So those are like kind of these two big standards that we seem to hold ourselves to. And I spent a lot of nights being really disappointed and really discouraged that I was doing something wrong and that it was my fault that I wasn't in one of these positions. And like I said, it never happened. My whole mission. And I remembered thinking that like I didn't learn anything about leadership in the church. I didn't get those skills. You know, I'm never going to have any opportunities to serve in the church going forward. And that absolutely wasn't the case. Case in point, I'm actually in a bishopric right now. So I'm 26 years old and I'm in a bishopric. And I've had those opportunities to learn about church leadership and whatnot. So that's just one plug that I do want to make, that I had a wonderful mission and I don't have any regrets, and I look back with nothing but fond memories, and I never served in leadership and I never trained, and it was okay. So I think sometimes missionaries get too focused on those trivial aspects and they feel like that's something they need to do, when in all reality I feel like I was able to do a lot of good outside of those roles. As I can, and it didn't slow me down at all. It actually probably impacted my life in a better way to not have served in Finland.